Hi, it's Lynne with Softsquares. It is time for the Saturday Stitch-uation, and I just got back from a retreat that was themed safari. I'm going to tell you about it and bring you up to date on some other things. Thanks for hanging out with me. As you notice, I'm not doing all videos every week. Just don't have enough to share with you, and I was feeling overwhelmed, and I figure, you know what, you guys will be glad to hear from me when you hear from me. I have signed up so you can buy me a cup of coffee. You've probably heard a lot of people talk about that. I've had it signed up for a while. I just keep forgetting to tell people, but it's in the description to my videos if there's anything you ever want to do to support my channel and help me out. Not required, not needed, but it's just one thing that's out there that I thought was kind of cool. And I don't drink coffee, but I really like chai tea, so you can buy me some chai tea. All right, there is a quilt shop in Riverton, Utah called Forget Me Not Quilt Shop that puts on a quilt retreat. This is my first time going to it. I had a blast. I have only a few pictures, but I will show them to you. It's at a really cool place called Hideaway Valley Lodge near Fairview, Utah, in the middle of nowhere, truly kind of tucked up in Hideaway. And it is a gigantic retreat center. They said they can sleep up to 75 people just in beds. And then they have couches and floors, and there's like 5 kitchens there. Six kitchens there. It's amazing. So I'll show you a little bit about that, but I'm going to talk about how the retreat went. So I've got my hat on. The theme again was safari, and I got a bunch of work done while I was there. But we got a goodie bag, and in my goodie bag, I got these cute little scissors. And I got this really cool thing. It's a magnifying type, let's see, hanging type magnifying glass 5 times power glass lens. So this is a necklace with a magnifying glass on it. It's not safari themed, but oh my goodness, how handy is that? And I should take it out of the package so we can see it. A lot of women were using them. That's why I knew what they looked like, even though mine is still in its package. Whew. Nice. Especially when you're doing cross stitch or hand stitching. Nice. Or unpicking. There we go, unpicking. Alright, so I got that. This is the shop that did the quilt retreat. I would check them out. They've got all kinds of things on their website, and I also did a shop tour of this, and they were included in the Utah Shop Hop. They're the ones that did the Monopoly Day under the Shop Hop. So I have videos on both of those. Check them out. Carolyn is the one who does that. Alright, I also got this little bitty Vaseline lip care. It is watermelon, cucumber watermelon. Let's see. I just saw the sticker. I didn't know what it was. Let's see. Honey peach. See, it ended up back here. I remember just seeing it as I threw this away. Let's transport it. Put it on the little container it belongs on. There. Now I know what it is. It's not straight. It needs an extra piece of tape. Anyway, it's cute. We all got this little lip gloss, lip balm. And we got a handful, like a big handful, of chocolate chunk Hershey's little bars. Those little nuggets. But anyway, they're the fat ones. We got those, and a pattern called Safari, called Xander's Safari. Now, Carolyn Waite, that's the owner's name. She designs patterns. She was saying she's designed over 130 patterns. They're not all on her website, but they they're really good patterns. Anyway, this is her grandson, Xander, and so she designed him a quilt themed safari. She calls it Zoofari. So we all got a free copy of this in our swag, so we can all make this really cute quilt. And it looks basic enough. I can figure it out, nothing terribly complicated, but this is something you can get if you contact her. Again, it's Forget Me Not Quilt Shop, and anyway, she does a beautiful job with her patterns. All right, so let's talk about what I did at the retreat. I'm going to part with my hat. I took a bunch of small projects with me because I wanted to work on them. One of them you can see in the background is this flag. I was given the pieces for this flag at the last retreat that I went to, and my friend Debbie Dobbins cut out these pieces and gave these to me. She's the one who cut out all the pieces for the big retreat quilt that I just barely finished. She's such a sweetheart, but she also gave me this as a little side project, and I thought I'd work on it. So there is no quilt pattern for this. I know it was inspired by Tiffany's Quilting Life, who is another YouTuber, and all I know is that she had done a video and just made it during her videos because they're live, and they're just a bunch of, I think, 2x4 inch squares, and that. It was actually kind of fun. Now I have received, where did it go? In RebsFabStash, one of the boxes that I get, this pattern last month. And I took this pattern with me in case this ended up being how I put the quilt together. I didn't know if I had the right pieces or anything, but I saw Debbie doing this, and so I just figured it out. And it's abstract. You probably noticed it's not quite, well, first of all, there's only 4 stars, but there are 13 stripes, but it should be blue about out to here and then go across. So at first my brain was kind of having a hard time with that, but it's abstract and it is really, really cute and I love it. So that's I just have to figure out how I'm going to quilt it. But anyway, this is the pattern. It does not have 13 stripes, by the way, but this is by, it's called Liberty, Villarosa Designs, and I got this from RebsFabStash in one of their boxes. So anyway, there's different patterns for flags out there, and this one has 6 stars and then a kind of a secondary pattern going on in the blue. Different. Okay, but here's my leftover pieces from that. I've got quite a bit, so I might end up using it as a trim. I'm not sure, but I have an idea of the fabric I want to use in the back. Oh no, it won't work. This is like an antique white, and I have some white fabric that has red stars and some white fabric that has blue stars, but it's bright white, and I don't want that on the back of this. I'll have to keep figuring that out. Okay, so I had a whole bunch of little quilts on my wall for a long time, and what they were the block of the month that had come out of RebsFabStash from 2022 in the first part of this year. This is another one of the blocks that I had not made, but look how big this is. They're calling it a mini quilt. It is a Riley Blake pattern, and it only has 4 squares. So it has 2 that are designed like this and 2 that are different, but they cut it down to being just 1 square and sent us all the fabric for it. There's quite a bit extra, not enough to make another block, but it's a good size mini quilt. So I will probably leave this exactly how it is, although RebsFabStash includes the names of all their fabrics, so I could hunt it down and make more, and it is really pretty. Look at the line. And I'm not sure what month it came out of, but it is all the same line. So there is a big heart that I finished. Although, okay, I've told you about the 2 quilts. I'm actually going in backwards order, and it doesn't matter, but this is the last thing I finished. And then before that I did this heart. Oh my gosh. The heart square. And then before that, this is another RebsFabStash. This was meant to be a placemat or a hot pad. And I have enough fabric to do the back side. I'm going to make this a wall hanging. So that's all that is a little house with a heart in it. So I've got one more little square done for my wall hangings. The very first project that I did is something that had come in one of my Christmas advent boxes. And I don't know if this looks familiar to anybody. It has 4 little coasters, and it came with a wooden box to put the little coasters in. I just made some coasters. I also have a lot of coasters, and I really don't even use what I have. So I didn't need any more coasters, but I wanted to make the blocks, and I decided I was going to put them together and make them into a little 4-patch. And you can see this is how big each block was supposed to be, because I did put sashing on it. It was from here to here. And I decided, I mean, it didn't come with the fabrics. Well, okay, I take it back. It did. But they were Christmas print, and they were Ruby Star Society, and I didn't really want that. I want this for just, like, fun. So I picked these scraps out of my stash and did this, and I'm going to finish it off right here. But look how cute. Now, this is a teapot. I had really struggled in the handles, not even. You wouldn't know if I hadn't told you, right? But the smallest size of fabric was 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch. And when I started out on this, all the ladies were looking at me like, oh, you're crazy. And I got through them. And then the next project I went to was this one. And I'm like, okay, there she goes again. More little pieces. So when I got to the big heart one, they were all impressed that I knew how to work with normal size blocks. I'm like, oh, this is normal. These others were just needed to be done first so I can get through them and reward myself with the bigger blocks. But anyway, I'm very proud of this. It is so cute. All right, now let's talk about some more things that I did. Carolyn Wright, I keep calling her Wright, Carolyn Waite, the owner of the quilt shop that did the retreat. Again, it's Forget Me Not Quilt Shop in Riverton, Utah. She has a store. Now, it's a small store, and she had actually closed her store down to be at the retreat. Now, there were 25 of us there, and so she's got a good group of us that are supporters of her shop, obviously. But she brought stuff with her, and then she had a sale. Oh my goodness. So let me show you the things I bought. Now, mostly what I purchased were patterns. She didn't bring out bolts of fabric, but she brought kits, fabric kits. And so anyway, I just bought patterns. This one is designed by her as well. It's called Serenity. And most of her quilts have multiple sizes in them. Just amazed that she can just whip these things out. When she relaxes, she designs a pattern. This one right here is called Forest Walk. It does say Forget Me Not Designs on it. Let's see, there's a glare. This one is called Callie. It's also one of her designs. And then, of course, the one that we got for free, which is one of her designs. So I came home with 4 of her patterns. So I bought 3 at a discount. And then this is her favorite thread. I've never heard of it, but she absolutely loves it, swears by it, and I've been struggling lately. So I purchased a box of sewing thread, and I got the 2 colors, off-white and white. And this is all Godin, 100% Presencia. It is really slick, smooth looking. Anyway, I've got neutrals of that. Okay, now they also did a recipe exchange, and I totally forgot about it, and I don't cook, but I still collect recipes. So I'm going to show you really quick what I came home with. There are only about 6 or 7 people that remembered to bring their recipe, but I've got spaghetti carbonara, I have baked beans, and as I read through this, this is actually the recipe that my former mother-in-law did, except hers was never written down. But this is how I make baked beans. I thought, okay, cool, it's actually written down somewhere, but I thought that was kind of cute. Also, waffles with buttermilk syrup. So she's got the syrup and the waffle recipe here. This one came from Taste of Home, but it's artichoke mushroom caps. Again, they're just people's favorites. And then another one is my grandma Lucille Myers, and it's vegetable layer salad. In glass dish, layer in order: head of lettuce, diced onion, celery, hard cooked eggs that are diced, a bag of frozen peas uncooked, a half cup of green peppers that are diced, 6 to 8 slices of bacon that's crumbled, 2 cups mayonnaise to spread on top, 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, 4 ounces grated cheddar, cheese over top, and refrigerate at least 8 hours. I've never heard of such a thing. Actually, for some reason, I can picture this, so maybe I've seen it at a potluck or something. She also has another one on here called chicken casserole, and I won't read that to you, but I thought the vegetable layer salad was interesting. So I've got 2 more recipes there, and that was it for the recipes. Now, we played games, and I won a prize. They had a this or that you can pick from. The this category were all wrapped, so we couldn't tell what they were other than most of them were flat. They were probably patterns, but this was a bigger flat one. And then that were bundles of fat 8s, and you can see what those were. And those were fun, but the surprise was more exciting. So anyway, I picked this up, did not know what I was getting. And in here it's called the French Connection Collection. And this is stapled in here, but these are templates. I am not sure if this is a hand project. It kind of makes me think of like the hexagons that people do. The French Connection Collection by Patchwork with Busy Fingers. Oh wow, we get bed runner, cushions, scallop bed valance, embroidery coat hanger. So they're all different. Oh yeah, they're playing with those templates. They are making things. Let's find some pictures in here though. I might be holding on to this one for a while. It has some cute things in here for finishing touches. There's a template for a clover leaf. I don't see any pictures, just large print and some sketching here and there. So maybe what we're doing is we're making everything you see in the picture there. So here's one of the templates. I don't know if you can see, it's really light. So that okay, thank you ladies. I'm quite glad to have this. I'm not sure what to do with it, honestly. If I ever get brave and do it, I'll let you guys know. So but that was still really cool, very unique, very different, and comes in this folder I can put away. What else did I do there? Oh, okay, I had shown up to make all these projects. Oh, I totally skipped a project. Totally skipped a project. Do you see this? And you see this? And this? And this? And this? And this? And then there's some others that are below. These are all part of the Red, White, and Bloom. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Okay, hold that thought. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the Sun Sampler quilt that I'm working on. I got all the blocks done except this one and this one, which are the same block. I've got everything pieced together, and then I got to one part of that last 2 little blocks, and I needed a specialty ruler that I did not know about or have with me. So all I have to do is finish that little part and then put these blocks together and then start combining it with my stashing pieces. I don't think I'm gonna do these little banner borders. I don't think I'm that patient, but I'll fill you in as I'm doing that. But isn't this cute? Let's see if I can show you a little bit more of what I actually did complete. This is a watermelon with a sailboat. We've got fish. These are ladybugs. And over there, right there, is a basket, like a picnic basket. So cute. So again, lots of little pieces. That was one of my first things. But anyway, I get there and I've pre-cut all of these projects. And I don't know what I was thinking, but the first couple baggies that I opened up for blocks on this, which is the very first thing I wanted to work on, they were not marked. So I cut the pieces out and put them in the bags to keep the bags separate, so everything for that block was in one bag, but they weren't marked. And I had all these different shapes of white. This is not a good example, but of white. And I didn't know what to do with them without re-measuring every single one of them and then still figuring out how to mark it so I can quickly pick it up and put the blocks together. And there was so much going on. I was so frustrated that I'm like, I can't think I need to mark these. So I did not bring any marking tools because I planned ahead and I thought I had marked everything. So I made a marking tool set. So as I was making some, well, in the time I was there, I did take my little Lori Holt stickers off and put them on pins. They don't stick very well, so I'm going to redo those and make sure I use some glue. But I took a Sharpie, a fine line Sharpie, and wrote on both sides of the whole alphabet. And then I did this. These were scraps, by the way. You can tell it's from that same line, right? In the middle here, I actually used my alphabet on my sewing machine. So I have A, B, C, D, and then the pins correspond with the letter. And because the piece was so big, I just let the fabric or the machine start over, so it did A, B, C, D, E. E? Yeah, to E. Because realistically, this first part of the alphabet does get used several times, so I thought, okay, I'll just have a little bit of extra starting over. Or I could have cut it off and ended it here. But I made my... all these little stickers are falling off. These are awful for sticking on this stuff. Anyway, it worked great, and everyone was stopping by and looking at it to see what I did, and I'm like, this was actually out of desperation with scraps that I had handy. This is the back of it. It is super simple, and everyone was asking me for the pattern. I'm like, oh, I guess I could maybe come up with one. Tell me what you think about this, though. I love it. And what's really fun is when I was putting the pins in, it actually gives it this raised look where the letters are, where it's going through on the back side. But it's really flat if the pins are all gone. Anyway, it's really nice, flat, at a quick glance, grab the letter that you need. And that's, at first I didn't have the blue strip in there with the letters. And as I pulled out the first part of those pins and started putting them back, I had to think in my head, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, there's where the K goes. I don't know, that's just how I am. And so I couldn't remember where exactly to put things. And I want it to be spaced right, and I thought, why don't I label it? And I'll put the pin right where it goes. So I love this. Tell me what you think. This or something like it, if you've done it, or what you think about it. So that's my on the fly, make it work. Worked out great project. I'll show you up close. This is the pattern. This is a little bigger up close. Again, it's this one and this one that I'm in the middle of making. All the others are made. So I've got the pieces here ready to be assembled once I get that one little part done. I took a suitcase of projects because I did not know what I want to do, what I could do. And when I first pulled these out, all these little projects, and I saw that the first couple projects did not have pins in them, because this didn't either. I was like, oh no. And so I'm glad I took some other projects. I took three 3-yard quilt projects. Didn't end up touching into them because I decided to figure out the pin situation and the numbering or lettering. But I had some of those. I also took down all the blocks that I had hanging out on my wall over here. You might remember seeing them. They are these little blocks. I took them with me, and they're all in this bag. Thinking, well, really what's left is to lay them out. 13 colors right there. is to lay them out and put it in the order that I need so I can pick it up and start sewing it. And this is the pattern you probably heard me talk about if you've watched me before. It's called Reflections by Moda. So they're going to go in columns. And I actually have enough of this fabric to come up with 3 more colors, which means I could make it wider. But I decided to just make this pattern size to see how big it is before I go bigger than that. But I do have some bigger pieces that can be cut up. And they're actually right here. So I've got, oh God, I have more than I thought I did. Oh no, I take it back. These are leftovers because there was like a little strip of each of them that was left over. This could turn into something really fun. These, and they came from Fat Quarters. These are the 3 that I did not use yet. They're also ombre. They're very similar to ones that have already been used. They're not exact. They are the same line. But I pulled these out because they were... Anyway, I only needed 12. This gives me 15. I said 13 a minute ago. I was wrong. So if I do these 3 others, there'll be some that will be similar, still different. It'll make it bigger. I might incorporate it over here. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I've got my pieces cut out and in here. I've got the strips ready for that. The strips to go between. So really, I just need to make it happen, lay it out on the floor and make it happen. I have been feeling really cluttered lately because I had so many projects I was in the middle of that just needed to be finished. And if you haven't seen my show and tell video, I just put it out. There were 10 quilts in there and I think 17 wall hangings and other small little projects in there. Those being completed made a big deal. Now I've come back with a couple more, not as many. This one's ready to go. These other little ones are ready. Just have to finish this, and then I'm going to send that one to the quilter. I think I'll quilt this myself, but I want this for summer, and you know what? It's coming. It's like right here. It's now, and anyway, I would like to see it on the 4th of July. We'll see if I can get together and get it quilted and back so I can at least have it on the 4th of July. If not, it'll at least be a summer thing. And again, the name of this is called Summer Sampler Quilt Kit by Sandy Gervais, and she also does the quilt line that I'm playing with for that. I got my American Patchwork Quilting magazine. I use this more for inspiration than anything, but it does have patterns and templates and things like that in there. I have not had a chance to even look at it, but it's always fun when it shows up. You know what's interesting? This pattern right here on the cover, it's a pattern that's in the book, but I have seen this a lot lately, like all over the place. It's probably has a name for it, but it's pretty common or pretty popular right now, or something like it is. I might just have to make it with scraps. I have so many scraps. I have bins that are labeled 1 inch for anything that's an inch, that's a strip. It doesn't have to be full length of fabric, but if it's like a chunk of fabric, those go someplace else. I use those for in a desperate thing for something small, but usually for applique embroidery. But anyway, my baskets or bins are labeled 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5 plus. So I have all these bins over here on my wall where they're overflowing, and they would be great for something like this instead of cutting into new fabric. That is that. I did a couple box openings. I did the pre-cut quilt shop. I did RebsFabStash. I also did their block of the month. They're on block 4 of the Wildflower Seed quilt block of the month, and so I just posted the video for block 4. for that. And I have this right here, which will be open by the time you see this video, but this is from Creative Notions. It showed up the day I left for my retreat, so it has been sitting here for a couple days, and now we're into the following week, and I've been very patiently waiting to open it so when I'm doing a video. So I hope to do that in the next little bit, and it should be posted long before this comes out. But that's another one that's coming out. And honestly, I am not starting any new projects right now. My goal, my job to myself is finish what you have. The only other thing is the Germany quilt that I need for my sister-in-law's son, my husband's nephew, and my machine was really giving me fits. So technically I've started working on that one, but I haven't really talked about it. But that's like the only thing that I'm gonna do that you don't see back here. When I got to the retreat, I did so well to pack. Anyway, there were 3 major things that I left at home that were not even related to my projects. They're just things that I needed. I needed a fan, I needed a light. I guess we're supposed to bring our own bath towel, and somehow I missed that memo. So we are truly in the middle of nowhere, and I thought, oh, I'll go find a Walmart. There's got to be a Walmart in the little towns out here. Well, no, the closest was 45 minutes away, but I was still heading there, and I only live an hour from there, but it would speed up time to go to the Walmart in the opposite direction than it would to go home, because I was already going to be gone for 2 hours. Didn't want to miss out anymore. Anyway, I ended up at Family Dollar, and didn't have to be gone quite as long, although I was still gone a while. And they had everything I wanted, and I guess this is an infomercial for Family Dollar. I don't usually go in there. I really thought maybe really cheap stuff. They're not the highest quality, but they're better than a dollar store, and they had everything that I needed, and I needed a lamp. And look at this cute little lamp I got for $8. It's a hydrogen lamp. At least I think it's hydrogen. Halogen? Hydrogen. Halogen. There's no light bulb, okay? And then it has this little button down here, and you plug it in. The only thing is it has this type of an end. So I had to buy a $5 cube to plug it into, so I could plug it into an actual outlet. So for $13, I got this lamp. Still of a deal, and this is a great lamp. I think I want to try to find some more because it's lightweight, it's perfect. I'm gonna see if I can plug it in. I actually have a USB thing right here. Look at that! It was perfect. I was sewing in the dark until I got this. So there's my little find. So now I'm going to show you some pictures of the lodge itself and a little bit about our retreat. They're really, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot with it, but go to Forget Me Not Quilt Shop, their Facebook page. There's more on the retreat on there. All right, I've been working on this quilt. Let me show you what I've got so far. I have everything laid out up here according to how the map of the quilt says to do it. I did switch a few things around just because of the color placement. Like this ladybug right here, it had over in this block, but I felt that it was too red next to that. So I mixed it up, just switched places with those two. And then obviously I had a light blue and it needed to be split up. So anyway, just little things like the color. So I just moved the 4 blocks in the center of the 2 outer lanes where the 2 stars are. And then the rectangle blocks, this one and the star one. They're the only ones that moved around. But I've got fabric just kind of laid out up here. This is a 4-inch border. These are going to have spacers between them. And then, no, sorry, this is a 5-inch border. There'll be 4-inch borders here or maybe it's 3. You know what? I can't remember anymore. I'm working on it. So, but all my pieces are made. So this is the block I was not able to complete when I was at the retreat. And what happened is I didn't have the tool, I can't remember what it's called, but I didn't have the tool to do this block. And I got home and I'm still not sure what I'm looking for, and I winged it. I re-engineered it and I did it. So all the blocks, the dark blue here are the same, and the ones down here that are this medium blue, it's the same block, and it's the same. There were 8 on each block. 16 of those guys that I figured out how to do without a ruler. They're not perfect, but they are pretty good. So it's just a matter of having some time. It's obviously not going to be quilted by the 4th of July. I should be able to enjoy this throughout the summer though. It just won't be done. I'm back from the quilter. I can't imagine that it would be, because I'm about to go out of town for the weekend. And next week, if I can get it done into the quilter, I'm still pushing it to get it back that quickly. I don't know, stick around. I'll show you when it's done. We'll see what happens. But this is called Summer Sampler by Sandy Gervais, and I'm so excited about it. Now, in addition to that, there we go, finished this one. This is a wall hanging from the retreat, and this one I just did an invisible border by turning it inside out, and a little tiny top stitch. There's that one, and then you've seen this one. And then this is the other one that's those little tiny little hot pad cup holders. Cup cozies. Why am I looking? Anyway, this one's done and finished, and I'm very pleased. And so you can see the little detail. I put the white threads across that so it looks like a spool of thread, and little loops on the mug. The heart has kind of an abstract thing, and then on the house, it's hard to tell, but I've got white curtains in the window. That was fun just to play with the embellishments. And the other ones that I'm working on are the flag. Sorry about that. The other ones I'm working on are the flag. I have it folded, and this is going to be the backing on it. So it's gonna be really pretty. There we go. They're both cut out, just need to put my batting in there, and then I will quilt that myself here. This is my messy corner, and my Sweet 16 is hiding out under this. And I've got a surge protector, or sorry, serger there. And then my brother Scan and Cut is here. So this is the other little quilt that I made, and it is good size. So I'm actually going to turn this into a machine cover. That'll be a little more finished, but I've got the backing on there, and I think I'm going to make that a cover for my Scan and Cut. And that's a heart. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to go into Tuesday morning. Well, they're not around anymore. However, TJ Maxx is, so I popped in there today. And I grabbed a couple things. Number one is this. It is spinny with sections in it. I'm going to try to use that to be organized here at my desk. Let me show you where my sewing station, let me show you what it looks like right now. So from where I'm standing, this is what I see. And I've got just all of this, and it's a little bit out of reach, and then some bottles, and then more of my miscellaneous things and camera gear, stuff I just feel that I need close access to. And I think that this right here will help. I think it's just a storage caddy. Could be used in the kitchen or under the sinks. I'm going to see if that will work here. I also picked this up. This is a little compartment organizer. I'm going to use this for my Kimberbell embellishment stuff right now that everything's just in a drawer. And I'm thinking that's what I'm going to use this for, but this should be really helpful. And they do come with stacking units. I just got one, but I can get another one and add on there. In fact, there's a glare, but there's a picture. Oh, that glare's just not happening. Or fixing it, is it? Anyway, I'm getting ready to go out of town, so I've got a lot going on. Okay, so I am in Utah, and there is a store here called Nuddles. They are a Bernina dealer and a fabric store. They are in Utah, and they have 4 locations. One of them is in Pleasant Grove, which is in Utah County, which is where I am. And they're right next to my chiropractor. And I went there today, and I needed some thread, embroidery thread, because the Germany quilt that I'm working on, I'm struggling with it, and I think it's because I didn't have the right kind of thread, and I need a lot. So I bought this. Isn't that pretty? And then I bought this one too, which is like a steel color. Very, very dark gray. So I got the 2. So I got these big cones of embroidery thread that are Floriani. And when I'm in there, I always have to look around. And they had these cute little tins that are embroidery needles for hand embroidery. And these are cave facet designs. And I got 2 of them, and each of them came with a tin in it, and then a package of needles. And this is the small size needle, and then here is the large size needle. These are going to be really nice. So I didn't need 2 tins, although I do have a lot of different random needle sets like this. I think it might be handy, and I'm going to put that with my embroidery stuff. Also, in the store, and if anyone lives in Utah, I would recommend you run over to the stores because they are getting rid of embroidery files. You see this stack right here? I spent some money in that store because these are files. Here's an example. These are embroidery files. This one's called Hoot. They're all owls. They're just adorable. So they show you on the back what you're going to get. Most of these are a Need Good design, which I do really like, and I have a ton of their stuff. These are all CD, and some of them are some different manufacturers, but most of them are Need Good design. Anyway, they're getting rid of these, and these retail upwards of $70 a piece. I got 3 for $20. So I got tons and tons of CDs. I spent, what I figure out, $160. That's not bad. I bought 8 sets of 3, and that's 24 CDs. They come out to $6.66 a piece, and it's because they're getting rid of them. And oh my goodness, that's amazing. So again, these are just mostly the DVD ones. Here's a pickle pie design with cork in the hoop. This cute little scissor keeper, another wallet in the hoop designs. Most of they're all to deal with the embroidery machine. These are some just big boxes, but it's same thing. It's Kay's Cottage by Kay England. It's a CD format, and then those are the embroidery files that are in here. And they're just super cute. So there's a little bride and groom one. I have a lot of their files, and oh, then the OESD is another brand that they had. And look how cute this is. These are mug rugs and drink sleeves. So these are ones I don't have, and if I do have them, when I finally get around to being able to organize these, I have some friends that will be getting some embroidery files. I figured for $7 or less than $7, it was worth grabbing it while they had it. And if I duplicate it, then that's a nice little bonus for somebody who has an embroidery machine. Look how pretty that is. Alright, so that is my find for today. Look how cute this is. Vintage Circus. I got the Sugar Skulls, Butterfly Dreams. I'm not going to show you all these. A little boring, I know. But here's another horse. But this is a tile scene where these are actually appliqued, so it's not solid thread to give you the color. But there's all the pieces that you're putting together to make a quilt with this. So it's a scenery quilt. And I picked up a Christmas one like that. Here's this one. So, and the ugly Christmas sweater. Oh, that's ridiculous. So these are make your own ugly Christmas sweater. This is I think it's like a wall hanging. I think that would be something I can incorporate or do with. And then this is patriotic. And I actually think I do have this one. I can't remember. So I haven't been embroidering lately. Been kind of preoccupied. I'm going to shift my gear and start doing more of that. However, these are just little cases. These are candy cane stick things. The grandkids will like that. These are unicorns. This is Grecian garden. I guess I'm going to show you all of them. They have a ton. See, here's what their normal price is. $6.66 plus tax. And these are strips in the hoop. Reindeer. And then this one is also a project where they're panels. Well, they don't have it broken out here. It looks like it is 5 by 5. So 25 squares across. So there we go with those. I have a system with my embroidery files where I transfer everything from the CD in the file format that I need, because they have all the different formats, onto a very small flash drive, because the embroidery machines can't handle anything really big. So I have all these 1 gig flash drives, and so I transfer several different files to a flash drive in the file format that I need, in all the files that are available for that format. So like some of these, we'll use an example of this one, the Skull Candy. There's all the designs. 20 designs in 3 different sizes for hoops, 6 by 10 up to 8 by 12. So there's 3 different sizes. Anyway, there's 60 files on here per make of machine. So like Brother has a different extension than Viking and Baby Lock and all that. So anyway, I go through and I transfer all my files and I label it, and then I will also print out. I have a really nice printer that I bought just for this project. I print out all the pages of instruction because it's kind of like my sewing room and everything that's in it. If I want to do something, I want to sit down and be able to do it. The only thing is, like with the quilt, you might have to cut out the pieces, but I have like all the fabric of that line that I want or that I'm interested in. I have a lot of blenders. I have a lot of threads. I can just grab without having to stop what I'm doing and run to the store and get something that I don't have, like this was. So that's how it is with my embroidery files. I want them ready to use. So I can open the book, because I have a filing system, table of contents, find what I want, go to the book, get the printout of whatever it is I'm stitching out, and it gives you the stitch, you know, the number, the order you're stitching things out in, and pull it up, stick it in my machine, and go. The problem is my machine's acting up right now, so I haven't been doing a whole lot, but I do want to get back into this. And I have a bunch of files, other programs that I haven't organized. It just hasn't been a priority, so now that I've got more, I'm going to have a little project on my hands, and that will keep me busy. But anyway, $6.66 a piece. go to Nuddles if you're interested in that. Well, that's it for today. I sure appreciate you hanging out with me. These Saturday Stitch-uations are going to be when I have stuff to report, so they may not be weekly, but you will hear from me and you'll see different things going on. I did get notification of some shipments that are coming, so I will have more to share with you next time. But that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me, and have a great day.